It certainly is a big bun.
It's a very big bun.
Big, fluffy bun.
It's a very big, fluffy bun.
Where's the beef?
Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Where's the beef?
At Wendy's, we serve a hamburger we modestly call a single. And Wendy's single has more beef than the Whopper or Big Mac. At Wendy's, you get more beef and less bun.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
You want something better. You're Wendy's kind of people.
There is truth in advertising, yes I swear. Got new Nikes on my feet and Vidal Sassoon in my hair. I can sure use a Budweiser fruit of the loom underwear. There is truth in advertising, I swear. Why would they lie to me when they love what they sell? Plus we all know that the liars have a special fire in hell. On the television, radio, and in the magazines, the advertising gods perpetuate the American dream. Advertising, let it be, let it be. Now I know that I don't need to buy everything they try to sell me, but so easily divided is a fool and his money. There is truth in advertising, let it be. Why would they lie to me when they love what they sell? Plus we all know that the liars got a special fire in hell. On the television, radio, and in the magazines, the advertising gods perpetuate American dream.
If there's one thing this country is good at, it's exploiting people, especially older people. We will work folks until the day they die, and, in most cases, won't even compensate them fairly for it. But sometimes, an old person gets the win. And then sometimes that win is stripped from them thanks to corporate greed and bitterness. That's the story of Clara Peller. Despite being born in Imperial Russia, Clara spent most of her early life in Chicago. Eventually, she relocated to Boston, Massachusetts, and settled down in Illinois, where she married a local jeweler named William Peller. The couple had 2 children, eventually divorcing, and she never remarried. The weird thing is, she wasn't an actress, not by trade. When she was 80 years old, Peller was hired as a temporary manicurist for a television commercial set in a Chicago barbershop. Impressed by her performance, the agency then asked her to sign a contract as an actress specifically for them. And this led to immediate success, wherein she was utilized in a number of TV advertisements. And then, in 1984, Clara's entire life changed. Whether for the better or the worse is up for debate. On January 10, 1984, Wendy's aired a commercial in which they portrayed a fictional fast food competitor named Big Bun, where 3 elderly women, Clara being among them, are served an enormous hamburger bun containing a minuscule patty beneath it. While the other 2 women are impressed by the size of the bun, Clara, however, expresses extreme annoyance at the lack of the patty, an annoyance that ultimately ends in her uttering the infamous catchphrase, "Where's the beef?" And this singular moment catapulted her to stardom. Sequel commercials immediately followed, featuring Peller in various situations, shouting the now famous line. And the line itself, well, it became arguably as popular, if not more so, than Clara Peller, taking on somewhat of a life of its own. But we'll get to that. Instead, let's talk about the impact of the campaign on Wendy's, because that's just as important to our story. At Wendy's, sales went through the roof, jumping 31% to $945 million in 1985 worldwide. And it wasn't as though Wendy's didn't recognize Clara's impact on the success, because even the senior vice president for communications for the company, Denny Lynch, stated, "With Clara, we accomplished as much in 5 weeks as we did in 14 and a half years." Peller herself made actor-scale wages, $317 a day, for the initial commercial. In a later interview with People magazine, she went on to state that she had earned $30,000 from the first 2 commercials and profits from product tie-in sales. The campaign wasn't just successful financially for Wendy's, it was successful financially for Peller as well. And the popularity of the line we mentioned? Well, after Peller uttered the words, they became repeated in television shows, films, magazines, and other media outlets. Promotional items featuring the quote included bumper stickers, frisbees, clothing patches, and a goddamn Milton Bradley game. How you turn a fast food catchphrase into a board game, I couldn't tell ya, but it happened. We are nothing if not thorough and determined as consumers. And Clara herself went on to appear in an uncredited cameo on Saturday Night Live, as well as in the 1985 comedy Moving Violations, Larry Cohen's horror classic The Stuff, as well as, of all places, a WrestleMania 2 event where she was the guest timekeeper. But perhaps aside from the campaign itself, because, let's face it, fads are short-lived, which is why they're fads, the catchphrase's biggest claim to fame came from being associated with the 1984 United States presidential election. During the primaries in the spring of '84, when the commercial was at the height of its popularity, Democratic candidate and former Vice President Walter Mondale and his rival, Senator Gary Hart, had a televised debate at the Fox Theater in Atlanta prior to the New York and Pennsylvania primaries. During the debate, Hart repeatedly stated he had new ideas. But this didn't sit well with Mondale, who eventually retorted at this concept of new ideas with the statement, "When I hear your new ideas, I'm reminded of that ad, Where's the Beef?" Despite Hart's best efforts to fire back at this throughout the remainder of his campaign, it was to no avail, as Mondale's strategy ultimately succeeded in casting doubt on Hart's new ideas and wound up earning him the Democratic presidential nomination. As a fun side note, later in 1984, Nashville songwriter and DJ Coyote McLeod, which sounds like the coolest cowboy name you could come up with, wrote and performed a hit song titled Where's the Beef, as a promotion for Wendy's, the ad campaign, and of course Clara herself, who was featured on the song. Nothing really came of this, and hell, I doubt most people either know or remember it, but it's humorous enough to mention. But the success wouldn't last. Per the terms of Clara's Screen Actors Guild union contract, she was free to participate in any commercials for products, goods, or services which did not directly compete with Wendy's. A fair enough, yet vague enough stipulation, as we're about to find out, because she subsequently signed a contract with the Campbell Soup Company and appeared in an advertisement for Prego pasta for spaghetti sauce, in which she examines the sauce and, after wondering, where's the beef, declares, "I found it! I really found it!" However, after this ad aired on TV in 1985, Wendy's terminated her contract rather unceremoniously, arguing that the Prego ad implies that, quote, Clara found the beef at somewhere other than Wendy's. Denny Lynch, when announcing this termination, followed that up with a clarification stating Clara can find the beef only at one place, and that place is Wendy's. Peller, understandably, had sore words for them, responding with, "I've made them millions and they didn't appreciate me." Suddenly, the vagueness of that stipulation makes a lot more sense. As a direct result of this, the campaign ended, and Wendy's, probably in a very fitting example of karma, entered a 2-year sales slump. Lynch later admitted that consumer awareness of the brand didn't recover for another 5 years when they started a new campaign featuring the founder Dave Thomas. But that's a story for another episode. I, personally, would like to know how Lynch went from openly admitting that her role in the campaign helped their sales significantly, even making them a pop culture icon for a bit, to then backing the company itself. Lynch, I understand you have to save face or possibly face reprimands from the very company you work for, but you chose meat over a human being. Not just any human being, an 80-something-year-old woman. You blatantly and publicly picked a dead cow over someone's grandma. Mascots have been thrown under the bus before. This is nothing new, but the difference is most mascots are not real people. Oh, sure, they might be portrayed by real people, but they're more often than not characters. Clara Peller was not a character. She was just an old woman who happened to find herself in the midst of stardom thanks to her participation in an ad campaign for a, quite frankly, mediocre burger chain. And this is how they repaid her, all because she made a commercial for a pasta sauce in which she utilized, in a parodical manner, the very line that gave Wendy's its success. In, perhaps, the only truly satisfying conclusion, Peller died somewhat of a legend, while Wendy's never really recovered, even with the advent of the Dave Thomas ads. Don't underestimate the power of a grandma. For a company whose campaign was literally asking, "Where's the beef?" y'all sure seem to have a lot of goddamn beef with an elderly woman. Not a great look. Peller died on August 11th, 1987 in Chicago, 1 week after her 85th birthday, from congestive heart failure. Her daughter, Marlene Necklace, published a 2010 biography titled Clara Peller, an American Icon, and then collaborated with Jeff Shell on a musical based on said biography titled Clara and the Beef. And though Peller is long gone, and though the phrase itself has even kind of petered out of the lexicon, to the point of being relegated, more or less, to historical context rather than a continuing iconic catchphrase we still hear and use today, there's no denying that, for a little while anyway, Clara Peller was as big as anyone else in the ad game. In the annals of history, Clara Peller is far more likely to be remembered than the burger chain for which she briefly worked. And, really, there's no better revenge than being hired to do something, and doing it so well that you eclipse the very company that hired you. Clara was the one making guest appearances. Her words were the ones being uttered in popular culture, not Wendy's. Nobody mentioned Wendy's, but everyone mentioned Clara. And what a better way to spend your golden years than being loved by millions.
Old lady walking in the midday sun. She stops for lunch at the House of Buns. She said, "I've had burgers, well done and rare. Now I got one that ain't even there." She got no response from ringing the bell, and that's when she started to yell,
Where's